Welcome to Winds of Technologies. It's me Prakash. In this video, I'm going to tell you something about JavaScript, guys. Introduction. Okay, what is JavaScript and how do we create a JavaScript file? And how do we run JavaScript functions? All these things one by one we'll see. Before that, let's have a brief introduction about JavaScript. What is JavaScript if you see? It's a lightweight object-oriented programming language used by several websites for scripting the web pages. Okay, so if you want to write scripting of web pages, we prefer JavaScript because it is lightweight and it supports all object-oriented features. And why people are using JavaScript means, so it's dynamic, it creates interactivity between websites. Okay, you can see here. So it's an interpreted full-fledged programming language. It enables dynamic interactivity on websites. So when applied to HTML document, okay, when you create any HTML page, it's completely static. But when you add JavaScript to the HTML page, it will become dynamic, guys. Okay, it was introduced in 1995 for adding programs to the web pages in the Netscape Navigator browser. So initially it was introduced only it was working for Netscape Navigator browser, but nowadays it works for all browsers, guys. Okay, you can use it in Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge or Opera or any other browser you can use. Okay, and since then it has been adapted by all other graphical browsers, and with JavaScript, this is the important thing that you need to remember, guys. So user can build a modern web application to interact directly without reloading web page every time. So this is the point we need to remember. The traditional website uses JS means JavaScript here, to provide several forms of interactivity and simplicity. So let's look at the, you know, though JavaScript has no connectivity with Java programming language, so the name was suggested and provided by the W3C. Okay, the World Wide Web Consortium has decided to name this scripting language as JavaScript. Okay, by the time Java was popular, that is why they use this name of this Java scripting language as JavaScript, guys. Both are different. Java is a programming language and JavaScript is a scripting language which is used in web pages to create dynamic interactivity. Okay. In addition to browsers, databases such as CouchDB, MongoDB, people will use JavaScript as the scripting and query language. Okay. Yeah. So the mainly, where do we use JavaScript? I'll tell you in the upcoming slides. And if you look at the features of JavaScript, so all the popular browsers supports JavaScript as they provide built-in execution environment. So all the browsers, so you need not install any software, guys, in order to execute JavaScript code. So just you can write the code in a HTML page, or you can directly write the code in Notepad file and then save it with file name .html. For example, I said hello, the file name hello.html in Notepad. If you save it and just you open it in browser, it will run directly. Okay, or if you save it on desktop and just double click on the HTML file, it will be automatically opened in your default browser. Okay, so that you can see the output what you have written for JavaScript and HTML together. Okay, and so here JavaScript follows the syntax and structure of C language. Thus it is a structured programming language and it's a weakly typed language. You know why JavaScript is said to be weakly typed language? Because there is no specific data types like C and Java. So we have different data types, right? Like int, char, float, double, like that. But here we have just two keywords we need to use, either var space variable name. Var space, var is a keyword here, space variable name. X means you can store anything, guys. You can store an integer value, number, or a string or boolean value, whatever you want, you can store it. So that's why it is said to be weakly typed language. Whereas Java and C Sharp, these all comes under strongly typed languages. Okay, where we have specific data types. So here we don't have specific data types directly, implicitly. We create variable with the let keyword or var keyword. Okay, yeah. And then JavaScript is an object-oriented language that uses prototypes rather than using classes for inheritance. Okay, so we are not using classes like Java programming language. So it's a different concept of inheritance is not yet discussed right now. So it's nothing but inheritance means utilizing or using code of one class in another class actually. That's there in Java. Here it's a different way to do it, and it's a lightweight and interpreted language. Okay, so some languages like C, C++ are compiler based languages, but here JavaScript is an interpreted language. So what is meant by interpreter? The execution of JavaScript will be executed line by line, and it's a case sensitive language, guys. So when you're writing JavaScript code, so the variable names or whatever we use, function name, should be case sensitive. You have to follow the same case in both the places. When defining and when calling, you have to follow the same case. Okay, that's why it is case sensitive language. And JavaScript is supportable in several operating systems, including Windows, Mac, and Linux, any other operating systems. It provides good control to the users over the web browsers. Okay, these are the features of JavaScript, guys. So let's look at quickly the history of JavaScript. 93 was like the first popular browser by the time. In 94, Netscape was founded by Mark Anderson. Okay, he realized that they need to become more dynamic, and a glue language was believed. And we need not just go through this, guys. And this is the important point that you need to remember. Netscape decided to give a similar name to the scripting language as Java's, so that they made it as the first name of JavaScript was LiveScript, guys. LiveScript was the first name of JavaScript. They started in 93 actually, but they released officially in 1995, that you can see here. So finally in May 1995, Mark Anderson coined the first code of JavaScript named Mocha, and later the marketing team replaced with the LiveScript. And finally, due to trademark reasons, finally in 1995 they renamed into JavaScript. From then JavaScript came to existence. Okay, so you can remember this one, guys, when they asked you in interviews, so in which year JavaScript was released, means simply the answer is 1995. The initial name of JavaScript was LiveScript actually, and after that they changed into JavaScript. That's it. Okay, so the code name of that JavaScript was Mocha, and 1995 Mark Anderson released it. So that's all about the history of JavaScript. Now let's look into applications of JavaScript. So where do we use this JavaScript in web development? That's more important to know, guys. The first thing is client-side validations. So when you're developing websites, so we have to remember validations are very important, in which you can do two types of validations. One is client-side validation, and the second one is server-side validation. So server-side validation will be done with server-side scripting languages like ASP.NET, PHP, and something like ASP.NET, PHP, and Django, JSP, Java Server Pages. For all these things, can be used for server-side scripting, server-side validations. And coming to JavaScript, we can use this client-side validation, guys. So what is meant by client-side validation? The validation which is happening in our browser itself. So it's running on the client-side machine itself. So we need not go to server in order to check the data is given by user is valid or not. Okay, that is called as validation, client-side validation. So it is obviously faster than server-side validation. So that is why most of the websites needs, they use client-side validation. Coming to dynamic drop-down menus. Okay, where we use JavaScript again. So dynamic drop-down menus mean drop-down menus can be right click, and when you right click on website, what are the menus you want to design. Okay, or you have some menu, when you click on menu, it should be changed, it should give a drop-down. Okay, again when you click on some other menu, the first menu should be minimized and second menu should be maximized. Like that you can write some code to make it dynamic. And displaying date and time. So if you want to display server's date and time, or client machine date and time, how much time, suppose you are writing online exam, how much time is left, all these things can be shown with the today's date and time, how much time is spent you on browser, and all will be displayed with the JavaScript built-in classes we can use, guys. And then displaying pop-up windows and alert boxes. Okay, alerts, dialog boxes and all, like when you're clicking on something, this action is not allowed on this website, like that you'll get some messages, right? So those will be done with JavaScript. And confirm dialog box, are you sure you want to close all the windows, like that you'll get some message from browser sometimes. That is said to be confirm dialog box. Yes or no, like that you can take confirmation from user. If you say yes means it will be closed. Okay. Then prompt dialog box, you'll get some message when you are getting, do you want to save all the changes? Yes, no, like that. So all this prompting and confirm dialog box, are you sure? Yes, no. Or do you want to save? Yes, no, cancel, like that. You want to ask the user for confirmation or displaying some alerts or prompts. For all these things we use JavaScript. Then finally clocks, if you want to display clocks, we use this JavaScript, guys. And coming to the next example, let's look at the small example on it. See, so where do we write JavaScript? Means we can write JavaScript in either HTML page or a separate JavaScript page, guys. So when you're writing code in JavaScript page or HTML page, we write script tag open close here. This is say for example we are writing in HTML page. So you have started with the script tag open close. Where do we write? Means we can write, generally we write in head tag, guys. So HTML page contains head tag open close. In between head tag open close we write script tag, and we can write this. Okay, script tag open close. In between document dot write and we are giving some message, welcome to JavaScript. Okay, so document dot write is a statement which prints this welcome to JavaScript message on the web page itself. HTML page, it will be displayed. Okay, and sometimes we write the script tag in body tag as well, and sometimes we may write in a separate JavaScript file, that is a JS file. Okay, yeah, we'll see practically, guys, so that you'll understand how to do it. Okay, and where do we write JavaScript code? There are three places that we can write JavaScript code. So the first thing is within body tag. So as I said, you can write inside body tag, or head tag is mostly widely used one. And the third one is external JavaScript file. So what it means, we are creating a JS file. JavaScript file extension is JS. So we are writing code and we save the file with the file name .js extension, and then you can call it wherever you want in any other HTML pages. Okay, we'll see all these three one by one with examples, and you can see script tag open close and document.write welcome to JavaScript. Okay, and let us see external JavaScript file. So when you're writing code in external Java file, JavaScript file, what to do is create external JavaScript file and embed it in many HTML pages. Okay, it provides code reusability because single JavaScript file can be used in several HTML pages. So I'm writing validations for mobile number, email ID, and all this. For all these validations, I wrote some functions in a JS file called validations.js JavaScript file, and that validation.js file can be included in any other wherever I do validations of mobile number, email ID, everything. I can simply reuse it. That is the main advantage of writing JavaScript in a multiple files. Okay, so an external JavaScript file must be saved by .js extension. It is recommended to embed all JavaScript files into a single file. It increases the speed of the web page. So these are the advantages. You can see this, guys, external JavaScript file demo message.js, and this is the file I have saved. And what I wrote here, just function space message, MSG is my function name. Function is a keyword here. Curly brace open close alert welcome to Winsoft. Okay, you can write window.alert, guys. You can also write that window.alert together, or only alert also works fine without any issue. And then you can see this, how to call this message.js in our HTML page. HTML tag open, head tag, inside head tag open close, we are writing script src. Src stands for source is equal to message.js. Okay, so I'm calling this message.js here, script tag close, head tag open close, body tag, in body tag paragraph welcome to JavaScript, form tag open close. Here I'm writing input type is equal to button, value is equal to click, and on click is an event name, guys. So input type is equal to button means you'll get a button. Value is equal to click means you'll get click message on the button itself. Label of the button is click now. And then on click is an event, guys. So as soon as you click on the button, it will call the message, MSG function here. MSG is the function name. It is available in which file? Message.js file. So as soon as you click on this, it will go to this what you call message.js, and searches for the function name called MSG is available or not. So as we have seen here, MSG function is there in message.js. So this alert called welcome to Winsoft will be displayed. Okay, and what are the advantages of using JavaScript? External JavaScript means it helps reusability of the code in more than one HTML file, and allows easy code readability. Code is easy to read because all functions are there in one JS file instead of combining HTML tags and functions, JavaScript functions together. If you keep them in a separate file, all the functions are in one place, so easy to read. And it's time efficient as browsers cache the external JS files, which further reduce the page loading. So first it is loading all external JS files, and then it is working with the rest of the HTML page, so that definitely it is faster, and it enables both web designers and coders to work with HTML and JS files parallelly and separately, that is without facing any code conflicts. Like some people, developers, are working on JS files, and some people are utilizing those functions in their HTML pages. Like that they can work simultaneously on the web application. So it's very easy for easy and faster to complete the project, guys. The length of the code reduces as only we need to specify the location of the JS file, so it's easy for us to write. And drawbacks, okay, disadvantages of external JavaScript means the stealer may download the coder's code using URL of the JS file, because we may specify the SRC and we may give some external paths sometimes. Like as I said, you message.js, sometimes I may write some URL, guys. Okay, www dot something like winsoft.com slash validation.js, like that. In that case, they may hack it and they may get it. The two JS files are dependent on one another. In that case, then a failure on one file definitely may affect the execution of the other independent file. Sometimes I have something like calculating result. Okay, I wrote calc.js file. I want to present or display the result in we have another JS file called display.js. So when there is a problem in calc.js or calculation.js file, so when I'm displaying the result with the display.js, definitely there is an issue. Okay, so when there is a dependency of two files, there is a problem. The web browser needs to make an additional HTTP request to get the JS code. So it has to bring the code from external JS, right? It has to make one more request. Definitely it may be burden. A tiny to large to change the JS code may cause unexpected results in the all its dependent files. Sometimes if you do any small change or big change, definitely it may cause unexpected results sometimes. So we need to cross check every time, guys, when you're doing changes in a JS file. Are we properly calling the function name or not? Parameters, everything we need to check. And we need to check each file that depends on the commonly created external JS file. Of course, as I said you the same thing. And with a few lines of code, better to implement in internal JavaScript code. Yeah, this is the important point that you need to say, guys. When the number of lines are less, few lines of code, and you want to use it only once or twice, means better to go for what you call internal JavaScript. Means within the HTML page only I want to write JavaScript code is always better. No worse, it can be used by many people simultaneously in different pages, means then you have so many lines of code, so many functions, means better to go for external JavaScript. Okay, that's all about the introduction, guys. In the next video I'll show you how to create JavaScript file, or how to run JavaScript files in all the three models. As I said you, let's go back to this. Yeah, these three we'll discuss. How to write the JavaScript code within body tag and within head tag, and finally how to write the external JavaScript code. Okay, yeah, thank you, guys. See you in the next video.